Well, welcome everybody. Thursday evening here in the United Kingdom. For those who don't know me, my name is Dave Ives. I'm going to be walking you through the Zinzino opportunity this evening. But first of all, let me welcome the guests that have joined us this evening. Hopefully you've been invited by someone that knows you, someone that's actually spoken with you, and you haven't just found yourself here because you've been scrolling through and happened to find a link. So hopefully if you've been invited onto the call tonight, it's really just to share with you this phenomenon that's been happening in this wellness revolution called Zinzino with test-based nutrition. But before we go into that this evening, I'm going to walk you through a little bit that may resonate with you as regards to why we are excited about this opportunity. And for those who really want to know more about the business side, I'm going to be putting some numbers together in front of you so you're going to be able to really get some information so you can make an informed decision. But it's like a lot of things. Opportunity is no less or greater than someone who's looking. You know, when I saw this industry, not Zinzino, I've been around this industry about 14 years. I've been with previous endeavors, but I've been with Zinzino about 14 months. In fact, this is my 15th month with Zinzino. And I can tell and share with you that I've never been happier, more focused, and more energized about opportunity. See, so many times that we don't even take time to look for opportunity. So first of all, congratulations if you are a guest here this evening. Because sometimes as a chef, working 18 hours a day, 7 days a week in a conventional business that I owned, well, actually owned me, that I was too busy being busy that I didn't have time to look. And of course, so often we say we're going to get round to it, or I'm going to put that on the back burner. And when things are all lined up, that British saying for those Americans and the Africans that may be on the call tonight, or Europeans, in the Brits, we have this saying, it may translate, I don't know. I'll take a look, or I'll take action, or I'll do something when all the ducks are lined up in a row. The only place I've ever seen that was in Coronation Street, where my mother used to let me sit up and watch Hilda Ogden have them. Now, for those who don't know what Coronation Street is, you'd have no idea what I'm talking about. But very simply, the words I'm really trying to express to you is there is no perfect time than the time that you get exposed to an opportunity. And as a chef that owned a restaurant, I was working 18 hours a day, and the individual actually had the wisdom and the courage to rattle my cage. Because I said to that individual, I don't have time to take a look at an opportunity that may help me to become successful because I'm too busy being busy staying broke. Now, you may not relate to that. And what I was coming from was a perspective of, I don't have time to work out a solution to get me out of the hole I'm in. I'm working as hard as I can to make my payments. And as long as I keep my head down and nose against a grindstone, maybe I'll get through this. And we know what that is. Basically, that's called insanity, doing the same thing day in, day out, expecting different results. But the individual that shared the idea of an opportunity, like the individual who shared this with you, knows you have enough on your plate. But this is what the question that was asked of me as a chef working 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. The gentleman said to me, I know your plate is full, Dave, but are you enjoying what you are having to eat? Meaning, is life treating you well? Are you living the life of choice? Are you reacting or responding? Or are you proactive in the choices you make? And so tonight, as we share Zinzino, I can tell you wholeheartedly, categorically, without even blinking and looking you in the eye if I possibly could, that in my years of professional network marketing, direct selling, consumer-based consumption, I've never seen a company like Zinzino. So let's talk about Zinzino. And I would ask you to just stay open for the next few short moments and just take on board the information I'm about to share with you. Because if you can take the information and then digest it and then get back with the individual, and hopefully it resonates with you, that will stir you to ask good questions because you want to make an informed decision. I believe you'll make a great decision. But many people make a decision who aren't even willing to look based on an opinion, a hearsay, a rumor, or speculation. And I was that man 3 years ago when I was asked to first look at Zinzino. So let's give you some facts about the company. What I enjoyed about when I finally opened my mind to taking a look from a business perspective, because I'd seen many companies come and go. I'd been part of companies that had done okay, and I've been part of companies that hadn't done as well. So I was even at 14, 15 months ago, after over a decade of being in this industry, I was a little bit tainted. I was a little bit skeptical, and I was the entrepreneur because I didn't want to get my hopes up again. And so as I was shared with the information, and I got around the individuals, the founder, the doctors, the CEO, the leadership in the field, and when they presented to me information that I could go and check out, as opposed to asking a friend or a neighbor who had maybe a hearsay or a perspective, I needed to know that if I was going to make a decision, I needed to make a decision based on the facts and not rumors. So let me give you some facts. Zinzino is a 15-year-old company. It's not a new start. When we opened the United Kingdom June of this year, and many other countries and around the world, we're now operating in 30 plus countries. And this year alone are opening in 2 or 3 other continents, from Hong Kong, September the 9th. We got Africa, potentially India, Russia, many more countries beyond that. In fact, in the next 24 months, we are open 20 other new market spaces. But presently, with the countries that we are open in, we have about 1 billion people of a population within those countries. And with what we can bring to the market, we know that our market share potential is 95% of those countries. That means our market potential is over 950 million individuals that we know need what we have. We're a publicly traded company. You can go to the NASDAQ, Northern European, and you can see our growth. In fact, in July, we had our second biggest month in the 15-year history. From July 2019 to 2020, we grew 44%. And tonight, we're going to show you not just an opportunity, but we're going to show you a mega trend. We're going to show you something that's ahead of its time, but we're maximizing the way the world is going. And here's 3 things that you want to think about: e-commerce, digital platforms, and health and wellness. And when you combine those 3 elements, what I actually do as an old chef individual, whether your career is an engineer or an architect or a dentist or whatever you may do for a living, I started this type of business model several years ago on the side. I had to carve out the time because once I decided that I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, and if I didn't change, then nothing would change. I got excited about having control of my own destiny again. And so here Zinzino is offering many of us the opportunity to grab hold of a wellness revolution platform that's tried and tested. Yes, there is no get rich quick schemes. There are no overnight successes. There is nothing without some effort. There is no free lunch. But if you're going to then have to make time to invest in something, that you're investing it into something that's viable, that's legitimate, and that has true potential. Because once you understand that this has, then maybe like I got inspired again to go and put the effort in. I don't think I've found any lazy people in my life. I have found many who have been uninspired. And so as you partner with Zinzino, as you partner with the individual, understand what we're doing. We are bringing the ability for the masses to regain their health using test-based nutrition. Because right now, science and technology is converging at a rate beyond anything that's ever been experienced before. We have access to information that we've never had before, from nutrition, exercise regimes. We've got knowledge that at a click of a button, of a shifting of a mouse, of something, we can invite the information, the superhighway, the digital revolution, the abyss of the Google and search engine optimization. We can invite that into our home and access anything we want. Here's the great thing about the internet. Everybody has access. Here's the worst thing about the internet. Everybody has access. I don't know about you, social media has become a platform of gurus, opinion seekers, people that are experts in being experts, because people want to feel valued. People want to feel that they're knowledgeable. Here's the reality of Dave Ives. At 51 years young, I said no to this gentleman called Marco Passanante for 3 years because I thought I knew all about Zinzino. When I actually took a look, I was literally dumbfounded about why I had been so closed-minded for 3 years. And I think I can know the answer now, because I was closed-minded because I didn't want to dare to hope again to be disappointed. And that's why I spend a little time here with you, because if you're going to do something extra, you've got to understand that whether you choose to partner with the person or not, this is happening. In 2019, the company did over 80 million in sales. Already 6 months into 2020, we've done over 110 million in sales. So already surpassed what we did in 2019. So this isn't up for opinion. This is not open to what if this will or won't. This is already working. The real question is, does it align with your ethos? Is health important to you? Are there things you'd like to do that, if money and time were no object, that you've been looking for something that you really could get behind, long as it could stand up to good questions? And so what I want you to understand is, as we go through this evening, that we have a real solution to a health situation that has been going on for many years prior to this pandemic that we've been experiencing. You see, over the last 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years, we've started to be the product of an environment called lifestyle and nutrition and fast food, convenience and processed foods. And what we're seeing today is, even though that last slide spoke about we have more access to science, we got more access to knowledge and information through the superhighway, yet we as a mankind are the most unhealthiest we've ever been. Why? Lifestyle choices. And today, Europeans, 51% of what we consume is ultra-processed foods, empty calories. So we're not getting the nutrition that we require and we need to. And so we're seeing things today that were not around 100 years ago because of modern day food processors. And of course, what happens is, when we start to see conditions that we've never experienced, we tend to go over to people that we trust. And that generally is the medical profession and the people in the white coats and the nutritional therapists and the personal trainers and the personal coaches. And we part with our money sometimes and we get advice and we take action upon that advice. And yet most of us today aren't addressing the cellular health. They're only addressing what they see. And so tonight, it's not about fitness. It's all about health. Because over the last 8 years, Zinzino has tested, today of July 2020, we've now tested over 520,000 independent blood tests of individuals who want to take action about their health. And through those tests that we have done independently, our results have been staggering. Over 95% of those who have tested have been in danger and been out of balance with an omega-3 6 and 3 ratio. And what does that basically mean? Basically, you and I are born one-to-one. And so we consume omega-6 and omega-3. And as we grow and mature and our lifestyle changes, what we've seen through the processed foods is what we should be around 3-to-1 for our optimum health. But most people now are consuming way too many 6s, which are very inflammatory, and not consuming enough 3s, which are anti-inflammatory. And of course, as humans, we don't produce omega-3. So we must consume it from our diet. The reality is we're just not consuming the right amount. And so what do? We then engage the nutritional world of supplements. And the supplements that we consume today, and omega-3, by the way, is the #1 nutritional product consumed in the world. It's a $50 billion a year market. But people don't test what they're consuming. They take it based on recommendation, marketing, third-party endorsements, celebrity endorsements, and yet they consume it. They take their hard-earned money and they purchase this nutrition to find out that it hasn't worked. And so why are we excited as wellness entrepreneurs? Why have you been invited to take a look at Zinzino? Well, the reason why is we know around the world that people are out of balance. You can see by this screen now that there's 3 numbers on the screen. Well, with the World Health Organization and the scientists around the world, they say really we should be around 3 to 1. We may be able to get away with 5 to 1 ratio, 5 omega-3s, 5 omega-6s, 1 omega-3, but ideally 3 to 1. And when we are in our optimum ratio, we'll start to see things happening on a cellular level that has a knock-on effect with many things that we are experiencing today called chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation is at the core of many of the degenerative diseases we see today, from skin to ailments to heart to immune. And yet most of us aren't aware of our chronic inflammation until it hits the surface. Why? We've been educated, if you look well and you look fit, you must be healthy. That is no longer the case today. And in fact, those who are taking nutrition today, in fact, people who take omega supplements today are still out of balance. Why? Because their nutritional product they are consuming is not working. And I'm going to share why that's the case. But the average person, whether it be a Brit or a Spaniard or a Dutch or a Romanian or a Hungarian, European-wide, the average in European is 15 to 1 out of balance. So I hope you know or should be thinking, I want to be at least 3 to 1, but I don't know where I am. And that's where I was a year ago. A year ago, I took my blood test and I was 14.4 to 1 out of balance. And when I sat there with the founder and I was there looking, but skeptical at the same time. And the reason I was skeptical is, as I said, I'd been disappointed. I'd been let down before by companies that overpromised and underdelivered. I've been part of teams that maybe didn't just deliver on what they were going to do with support and effort. And so as I sat here in front of the founders about May of 2019, I sat in the home of the founder and I asked 3 questions. Why do we need it? And I've touched on a little bit about we need it as humans. Our omega ratio, our essential fatty acids are the most important thing in our nutritional development. Why do we need their product, Zinzino's? It's because he explained that Zinzino is the only company that puts polyphenols back into our product that helps the omega not to oxidize as it travels to the cellular level. And the third reason, he says, because we can prove it works. And that's where my alarm bells went up. I said, okay, the test. Oh, the test. Okay, so tell me about the test. And he explained the test. And I said, well, that's where the scam is. They were my words. So if you're sitting here feeling and thinking the same thing, I relate to you. Because I said, of course I'm going to be out of balance because you want me to buy your oil. But when he corrected me and guided me and informed me that Zinzino used an independent laboratory called Vitas. CEO is a gentleman by Thomas Goodison. He's based out of Oslo University, been around about 25 years. They are the #1 analytical services laboratory that does DBS, dry blood spots. Now there's plasma blood testing, but plasma blood testing will test what you've done over the last week or 2. Dry blood spots will go back plus 6 months and be able to build a bigger profile for you. And through the testing, this laboratory tests for the likes of the Norwegian government, King's College of London, Oxford University, Harvard, just to name a few, and many blue chip companies. So when I understood that this test was independent and the laboratory had no bias to Zinzino other than to test the blood spot, he had my entrepreneurial attention because the results spoke loudly about what they were achieving. And so what is the process? So as you start to think about how do you build a business that one makes a significant difference in the wellness of customers, but secondly can build a business long-term for you and your family that can potentially build a residual income, then we take people and we show them two things. One, do they need our product? And the only way to do that is for them to find their number. They take a simple blood test, they send it off to the laboratory, and within 2 to 3 weeks, they'll get a result. But prior to getting that result back, as soon as they've taken their blood spot and they've sent it off, they can start consuming our products. And we have various products, I'll touch on those in a moment. But within 3 weeks, you'll go to an online website, you'll put in that barcode, and it's anonymous. They don't even want to know your name, so they can't manipulate the results. They literally are testing that blood spot that they receive from you. And even if you want to put a different name on there, if you want to trick it, if you want to not answer a questionnaire or a survey, you just want to send it off and just wait 3 weeks and get a result, you'll get a result on that blood spot you sent in. Now, if you're in balance, 3 to 1 or less, you have a money back guarantee, providing you're a consumer, you're a customer, and you subscribe to our subscription model. Then if your results come back, even though you've started consuming the product, you can return everything and get it fully refunded. So there is absolutely no risk to find out what your number is. But we've already established that 95% of people, me included, was well out of balance. So stay on the product, and in 120 days time, you'll receive a second test, take another blood test, send it off, and within, again, 2 to 3 weeks, you'll get a second result, and you're going to be able to compare your first blood spot, which is not even associated with your second blood spot, and see the improvement. And I want to share mine. You can see here where our target numbers should be by that left-hand column. My very first one, after playing competitive rugby many years ago, almost going pro, taking nutrition, then being a chef and understanding what whole produce is better for us, and try to go as organic as I possibly could, and use the right ingredients, I was still out of balance at 51 years young. And so I got on the product. And here's what's frightening. Today is the first day in mankind's history. When I say today, I'm talking about this period of our lives, where our next generation are at more risk of dying before we do because of lifestyle choices. And so when I tested my daughter, she was even more out of balance than I was. And I've seen results, not just from children, but from adults, ranging from 5, 6 to 1 to 60 to 1. I heard last week over 100 to 1 out of balance. And so I got excited that I had the opportunity to take responsibility about coming back into good health. Well, we say about 120 days, you'll get a second blood test and you'll retest and send it off. But a good lady friend of mine, Nigel and Sue Booth, who are partners of mine in the business. In fact, the very first couple I dared to get my hopes up to share with again. We were traveling around the UK as we were starting to share this story of the Zinzino test. And in 90 days, I just had a knee replacement about 7 months prior, a full knee replacement because I was riddled with arthritis. I couldn't believe my recovery from my spinning and my exercise and my sleep and my clarity. So I was intrigued. I knew we were going to retest in 120 days because that's when it takes for blood cells to change. But I was intrigued. I just wanted to see where the markers had changed. I was dumbfounded. 90 days in, you can see the middle column or the second from the right there, how drastically I had improved. And then I took it again on my 52nd birthday, and I was almost 100% back in balance in every area, from mental clarity to the fluidity around my membrane to my 6:3 ratio, and the list goes on and on. But here's what I want to share with you. Even though I'd seen the results, even though I was an entrepreneur, even though I had made money in this industry, I still had the desire to remove the doubt. So I found a British blood company. I'm going to give you the name of it. You can look them up. They're all over the place. Called Thriva, Thriva. I sent them my blood in November. I didn't tell them I'd been taking an Omega product. I didn't tell them I'd ever been tested, but they most definitely took my 90 pounds. And within a couple of weeks, they sent me a report and I was 1.65 in balance. Ladies and gentlemen, I tested the test. I got busy. As an entrepreneur, I had all my answers done. I'd proven the test. I'd actually tested the test. Now it's about to go out and help people understand what we are doing. And what is it that we're doing? Is we're sharing with people the ability to remove all doubt when it comes to their nutrition. And why is our product more effective? It's because I want you to understand, and please write this down if you're a guest this evening. You are not looking at an omega-3 product. We are not an omega-3 product. We are an omega balance oil. So there's a number of omegas in our product, but the reason why ours is more effective is because when we consume our natural source of omegas through fish, there are polyphenols in there, but we just don't eat the quantity that we need. So when we add supplements called omega-3, the manufacturers and the food processing, when they clean up that fish, they're extracting the metals and the toxins, but they also extract the polyphenols and they don't put them back in. We're actually doing right now, and we're about to commence a double-blinded placebo trial showing that why ours works effectively with those who have hypertension. And we're going to have a 200, 250 plus double-blinded placebo of candidates. Do you know what the placebo is? Fish oil. Because we know fish oil doesn't work. Yet people buy it. It's the number one consumed product, and omega-3 is fish oil, and it doesn't work because manufacturers have excluded the polyphenols. What are polyphenols? They are antioxidants that protect the omega-3 while it travels to the cellular level. If they do not have the polyphenols in, once you consume the omega, it oxidizes within 3 to 4 hours. It is ineffective, and you might as well not be taking it. So our product is unique because, one, we can test and prove that it works after 120 days. As an entrepreneur, imagine being able to offer and build a customer base that, one, you prove that they need it, two, it's worked for them, and three, it's a product that you and I need for the rest of our life. Now, we are never going to be 100%, but imagine a customer base. Once you build it over the next couple of years, you've now got ongoing residual purchases that you now can be able to not only to have a business, but a business that you can build globally from an online basis from anywhere around the world, and you're not tied to anything because you've helped customers drop ship the product that they are ordering directly to their door. You don't handle logistics or anything. Our product is the world's first all-natural, test-based nutritional product. And what's the benefit of being in balance? Now, I want you to now pause. I want you to remove the word Zinzino, and I want you just to understand what the ESFA, the European Food Safety Association, make a claim. These are medical claims that they make. The benefit of taking omegas is normal brain function, heart function, immune system. Well, we can break that down into multiple categories, but let's just look at, and I won't go through them all, just look at some of the subcategories broken down into those main three. Now, again, like I said, this is not Zinzino. These are the medical claims of the European Food Safety Association. Let me ask you a question, and I want you to think about this. How do you know if you've got normal bone structure, blood pressure, strength of teeth? Our bodies, we may look okay, but unless we have been able to test on a cellular level, we are unknown and we are playing Russian roulette. And so that's when I got excited, because I realized I could make a difference. And when I got around the likes of the individuals on this screen, our scientific advisory board, one of the gentlemen that we were privileged to sit down across and have dinner with was a gentleman by the name of Paul Clayton. He's a Brit, studied at Edinburgh University, still lectures at Oxford, but he's put an advisory board together that is world class and knows everything what I appear to understand about pharmaconutrition. Prevention is way better than cure. In fact, Paul has a little under the skin irritation with food manufacturing, and he has a little bit of irritation when it comes to pharmaceutical companies, because one of them is poisoning us, and the other one is just medicating the symptoms and not addressing the core. And so his whole passion, he's 70 years young now, for the last 50 years, he's dedicated his life to proving what we can do with our own health when we take care on a cellular level, that we can start to eradicate, reverse, and sometimes get rid of some of these conditions that we see today. Now, we're not making any medical claims, but think about this. If there's things that we're experiencing today as a human race that were not around 100 years ago, that means things have happened in the last 100 years. If we can address those on a cellular level, then surely logic would tell us we can now start make advancements on people's well-being rather than just medicating with pharmaceutical medication. So what are our products? Very simply, we have a portfolio of products. We have an oil range that really brings us back into balance. It helps us to bring our ratio so the cell now and its membrane is permeable to absorb the nutrition. That's the key here. That's what the oil does. It brings us back into balance. Then we have a nutritional range to help us build our immune and our brain. We have an incredible supplementation range. We have a skincare range, and we have a weight management range. I'm not going to go greatly into this because we do have a customer presentation on a Tuesday. And if you want to know more about the product, Sue Booth, who's a diamond in the business, does an incredible product presentation that you can go to our YouTube channel and get the recording of that. But these are our 5-star product portfolio. Just world class, but here's the key. Test-based. Nothing's left to doubt. No guesswork here. We test to see if you need it, and then we test to see how it's worked on you. And now let's switch gear to the business side. Now, that's what we're doing. We're creating a revolution in wellness. In fact, May of 2019, the company had 180,000 monthly customers. Today, we're over 300,000 monthly customers. And if you want to think about being an entrepreneur, surely you want to know, where are we going with this? I see where you've come, I see what you've achieved, but what's the vision? The vision of the individual that has invited you onto the call today. And the vision of the company is to reach 1 million customers by 2025. It looks like we're going to be there by back end of 22, early 23. By 2035, we want 20 million customers. And by 2050, I won't be around, but by 2050, we're going to want 100 million customers. So if you're going to put time, energy into something extra for a little while, you're going to want to know, surely it must have longevity. Well, the next mega trend is not nutrition and wellness. It's test-based nutrition. So how do you join us? How do you partner with the individual who invited you onto the call? Like I did a year ago, I invested in an ultimate pack. I got a product pack, and I got some tests, and I started testing my significant individuals in my life, my family. I started taking the product myself and learning about the other products. So I invested as a business individual into an ultimate pack. And we have various ways you can join, but the ultimate pack is where I joined because I was told that they would work with me and they would help me to go out and get 25 product users in my business as a personal customer gatherer. And when I did that, by the 12th month, I would have my initial investment refunded. And that excited me because as a chef who borrowed $250,000, now I do make a little of a play on this, but I borrowed $250,000 from the Royal Bank of Scotland, and I bought a box. It was a restaurant. It was a 90-seater restaurant, but I call it a box that I had to go to work to every day, 7 days a week, 18 hours a day, and work for 4 or 5 years before I could even think about being debt-free. So I borrowed money I didn't have to buy a box, to go to work in a box, to stay away from the people I love the most, who lived in a different box. And then a year ago, someone showed me that by making an investment and then going to work as a team, that I could actually change some things in my life. Well, that box last year, I invested about €1,000. And from that process over the last 12 months, with the people that are on this call today, we've been able to reach now over 4,500 customers around the world. They generate a significant amount of money each month in sales that you get a little override on. So when you get started in a business, make sure that you make the right decision to get started the most advantageous way, the most effective way, and the third point is that will give you the greatest return on your investment. And so the ultimate is the best way to get started, though we have a number of options for people to get started. I just want to let you know what's the most advantageous way. But get back with the individual. They'll look at your situation, see what your level of commitment is, and they'll draw out a plan for you, working alongside you and on the time that you have to be effective. So what are we going to do? We're simply going to now go and get your initial range of contacts, people that you want to share the product with, customers, people that you would love to be in business with you if they were looking for an opportunity. And with your team, we're going to show you how to connect with them. We're going to show you how to speak with them naturally. There's two ways we approach them. One's a customer, one's a partner. So it's a significant method of operation that you don't talk to a customer the way you would as a potential business owner. We keep them totally separate. But regardless if you are bringing customers on or people that want to be shown the business, we get them started the right way. And once we get them started, we do what? Relationship marketing. We ask for referrals. There's nothing like someone else referring you to someone that you can lean on their influence and credibility, but you bring the experience, and together, that's a very powerful combination to build a business. As an entrepreneur, we have an incredible program to help you have a great customer retention. Now, remember what I said? We get a test, we see if the customer needs it. If they need it, they stay on the product, and 120 days later, they retest, and they prove that the products work for them. Well, we know that we don't produce omega-3, so this is going to be a lifestyle product. So this is something they're going to want to be on for indefinitely. Well, to actually give them the opportunity to stay on the product, we give them the opportunity to go refer 4 people they care about, and theirs is for free. There's nothing like a business where you can have customers referring other people because they've got personal testimonials that it's worked for them. That's an incredible opportunity. So now let's talk about what we do. Very simply, we are a customer model. We're not all about recruitment. We're actually about going and getting real customers. And we're going to earn, once you start building a customer base, you're going to earn between 10 and 30% on retail. I'm not going to go through all the numbers. You can see as they come up on the screen, but we get a cash bonus on retail. And we also get in the first 30 to 60 days of us launching our business, there's some fast start incentives to help people get started right. The key here is when I borrowed $250,000 from the Royal Bank of Scotland, I didn't sit there and go, you know what, I'm going to take 6 months off and I'll get started in my restaurant soon. Here, people do that. They start, they get excited, they join a business because they see it as a small business. They treat it like a small business. If you get started, my biggest advice is see it big. These numbers don't look big right now, but they can become very big and they can become residual. But you're going to earn about 10 to 30% on your retail customers. And in your first 30 to 60 days, there's some nice fast start incentives. Now, go and get 4 subscriptions, 4 people on the product. You're going to be called what we call a bronze, just 4 customers or 4 subscriptions. The individual can explain there's a slight difference, but basically think 4 people on the product. And you're going to make around £52 on those 4 customers. That's a one-time retail commission. But you're going to get a £90 fast start bonus. Now let's go and help you get 10 subscriptions, 10 product users on the product. Not in the business, 10 product users on the product. Well, 10 product users, you would have earned 10% on that retail. So you would have earned in total about £78 commission, but you would also get a £130 recognition fast start bonus. So again, not setting the world on fire, but you're getting rewarded for your effort. Now let's go and help you get 25 product subscriptions. We call that 18. But you'll see here now, you've gone from 10 to 20% on your retail. You're now making around 85% residual every month on these 25 subscriptions every month. You don't have to go and get 25 every month. These are the same 25. Why? They've tested, they've proven, and they're reordering every month. That's called residual. So guess what we do then? That is the building block of our business. When we understand, but all we do is go get customer subscriptions, then we can just duplicate that to earn a significant amount of money. And we got a career path that gathers customers. You can see here, as you get 50 product users or subscriptions in your business, you're going to make around 25% retail now, but £150 residual each month. 100 subscriptions each month, you're going to get a 30% commission, and you're going to make around £250. This is in the United Kingdom and Europe. And you're going to get a one-time bonus of $9,000 spread over 24 months. So this is just gathering customers. This could be a good part-time opportunity for people who just want to subsidize the mortgage, who want to pay for that private education, who want to pay the car off faster. This is not setting the world on fire, but it most definitely is breathing space. It most definitely is additional revenues that you don't have to think about, how do I generate that from my mainstream income? If you want to just do that, that's fine. We have a career path for just gathering customers. But there's others that also want to gather customers, but they want to expand their people franchise model. They want to share with John, who lives in Brisbane, who they know is a nutritional therapist. They want to get involved, the orthodontist that lives in Nice. They want to share with their brother who's in Chicago because they know how they've just been laid off. There's various reasons why you want to share with people, but if you want to start building a network or franchise of other customer gatherers, then very simply, what we do is we share with other people around the world. They could be in your own town, they could be in your own county, in your own country. They could be in one of the 34 countries that we are presently opening. They could be in one of the markets that we are in pre-launch. India, South Africa, Russia, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Thailand, Taiwan, plus the 34 countries that we're already in throughout Europe. So here you are, you're a business owner. You're going out and getting your 25 product users, 25, and you're making around £90 residual each month. But now you decide to now partner with 3 or 4 people. They could be some of your own contacts. They could be some of the contacts of the people that have invited you, because they don't necessarily need to be all your own contacts, because this is teamwork. But what are we going to do with A, B, C, and D? Very simply, we're going to help them go out and get their 25 product users times 4 people. You have your 25, but you've got 100 customers around the world being drop shipped their product directly to their door. But at the end of the month, you make a residual commission. Not a great deal, £180 a month. But let's go and help A, B, C, and D get their 4. Replicate, duplicate. Now you've got 16 people on your team. They're going out and getting their 25 subscriptions over a period of time. You've now got 500 group subscriptions. You've got 25, but you're training, motivating, guiding, teaching others to do the same. This is the real ultimate e-commerce wellness platform on a subscription model without the huge overheads or logistical nightmares, because the company drop shipped the product directly to all your consumers around the world. Well, you're called an executive now, making about £800 a month. Just stop for a moment. £800 a month extra in the next 3 to 6 months. Carving out 10 or 12 hours a week, working with the individual who brought you onto the call this evening. Letting them walk you through a training, a getting started training, and scheduling time in your calendar and their calendar so you can work together. and over the next 3 to 6 months, become an executive and make an extra £800 a month. Not a great deal of money, but add that to your mortgage. £800 is a lot of money today. But let's not stop there. Let's go out and help those go and get their full. You don't have to stay at 4, by the way. There's people on here that have gone and got 10, 15, 20, 25 business partners personally. There's some that have been in a while and they just want to try the product for a little while until they got absolute evidence that it's going to work. Yet there's 110 million in sales already. Let's go as fast as you want to go, but let's not slow down others who go, I'll get it, I'm ready to run. Let's go and help those people do that. You're now got 4 executives on your team. You're called a diamond. And a diamond's going to have over 2,000 plus customers worldwide being drop ship product. You're going to be rewarded for that, about £4,500 a month in income. Now you may say, well, if there's 2 of you in a dual income family, when you consider daycare, you may say, you know what, our business is producing more than one of our incomes. Why don't we start to have quality of life back? Because we've built a business based on real consumer usage that's going to keep growing in our absence. Diamond for most in the next 6 to 12 months is better than most people ever experience on a pension after 40 years of working. That's why I'd encourage you to see this big. A mega trend in wellness using test-based nutrition that's ahead of the curve. Let's go and help 4 people reach that diamond level. You're called a crown. You're going to make well over 5 figures a month by building a part-time business model. There's no guaranteed success here. It is down to someone's desire and willingness to work. There is no seniority here. Someone could get in today and fly past the people that brought them in. Because if you get in and do nothing, we'll make nothing. If we get in and do something, we'll make something. If we get in and we learn the basics and we teach a duplicatable program, we could position yourselves, your families, and the residual element significant over the next 2 to 3 years beyond your own comprehension. Wellness that can be tested, that's drop shipped to your consumer's door, no logistics. Long as you've got access to a smart device, you'll never need to reside in one place to build a business globally, and now you have the freedom of choice. I want to close with this thought. If money and time were no object, allow yourself the luxury, whether you believe this or are intrigued by this, or you have some questions, get back with the individual, but put that to side for one moment and ask yourself one question. If money and time were no object, would you do what you're about to do tomorrow if you had more choices? See, entrepreneurs are willing to do today what others are unwilling. Not that they can't do it, they just choose not to. Well, today, our lives have been disrupted. They were already disrupted before this period of lockdown. Chronic inflammation is the silent killer. Test-based nutrition is where the next wellness revolution will take us. No one in the next 5 to 10 years, in my honest opinion, will consume nutrition that cannot be proven. This is your opportunity to, 1, address your own health. 2, work with some great people who want to help you secure your family's prosperity. If that's you, let them know. Let's help you get started, get you registered, and walk you through a getting started training. And we look forward to helping you build your wellness business platform over the next few short months. My name is Dave Ives. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We appreciate you. And every Tuesday and Thursday, Tuesdays we have a customer presentation where we only talk about the product. And on Thursdays, you'll hear another speaker next week sharing the exciting opportunity that will be a household brand name in the next 2 to 5 years. You can be part of it. The question is, how much of that do you want? My name is Dave Ives. Good evening. We'll see you all very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.